Podcast. Talk Central Phoenix.
It's time for the Chips and Salsa Show. Vámonos.
I love chips and salsa. Can I listen too?
You got it. Take it away. Eso.
Reverend Clyde Bowen. I'm the state chairman of the Arizona American African Republican Committee.
And we are going to do another segment with our candidate, Kelly Cooper, and then after that we are going to talk about some Black History Month. So we still have a lot of show to go. Mm-hmm. So Kelly Cooper, who is running for Congressional District number 4 here in Arizona, is with us today. And lots to talk about. We had a really wild story about what happened to his wife. And then you met your wife. You were telling me that you met your wife.
Yes, so she was a server at the restaurant down at Melting Pot in Ahwatukee. And she had left there, went back to Chicago for a while, where both her and I actually happen to be from. It's a weird kind of coincidence that she's from the south side, I'm from the north side. We ended up out here in Phoenix.
And this is where you met.
Both of us working in the same restaurant. And then she went back and we came back and chance happening, went on a date 5 years later and been together since.
That's awesome. And then I have to say also, because our show exists because we're former Democrat Latinos who bust the myth that you're Latino but we're Republicans, and your wife happens to be Latina.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, I got that. I tell them there's some tough things to be, but one of the toughest is a Black Republican. So.
Oh yeah, no, like
amen. So I know where you're coming from.
So we talked a little bit earlier about people over politics. That sort of, for me, leads back to, service for a better America, service for a better Arizona, but really the economy. You see what's going on in the economy today. The inflation at this point it's been for a while out of control, but it's a labor product spiral that really only is going to end up in potentially stagnation, recession, depression if it's not handled properly. But today, Arizonans are paying nearly $5,000 more per year for basic needs. Not special things, not for a fancy TV, for gas and groceries. How did we get here?
That's a family of in Arizona?
Yeah.
A person. That's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of money, and people aren't getting $5,000 a year raises to counterbalance that. They're getting less than that.
And can keep up with inflation.
The key point to me, and there are several things to do to fix it, and this is the thing that you'll find out about me that's different than most of the rest of the people that you talk to, is that I'll give you answers. The easiest way to unwind the inflation, or at least start the unwinding, is energy independence. It was the very first thing that Joe Biden did. I just wrote an op-ed this morning about it, how that was the first domino. The next one was the free money poured over the economy, and then mandates. Mandates limiting people that want to go to work, mandates getting people to retire or get fired. So you're limiting the supply side, you're overheating with money, and then you're raising prices. And that's how you get into this spiral. And so we can start by unwinding the mandates, and we can start by unwinding the energy dependency that we've given to Russia. And you see how that affected us.
Absolutely. Now, I think I also just heard the reserves that President Trump had built up.
Oh, they're probably gone by now.
Biden used them already.
Yeah.
And that's not what they're like supposed to be super emergency.
Well, like the IOUs on our Social Security that people are worried about. They managed to raid the cookie jar. That's a whole nother show, right?
Now,
well, but that's what I mean.
Yeah, but that's what you mean.
We keep sending slick talkers to Washington, and what happens? We keep losing.
Yeah.
We need some problem solvers. You're absolutely right. Tell us geographically now about where the district is again, and then you said you might have some meet and greets coming up also?
Yeah, absolutely. So Congressional District 4 starts in Ahwatukee. It's way over on the west side of Ahwatukee, and it follows sort of that South 202 line all the way to McQueen. So it goes through Tempe and Chandler, and then at McQueen it sort of waves up to the 60, and it follows Mesa north of the 60 all the way out to the 202 loop. So it's a
big district,
broad geographic district.
I know where it is.
And really the big change is that it dropped Phoenix proper and it added Mesa north of the 60. So.
Oh, okay. That's where it's
And that's actually how it ended up being more of an even district, because historically it's a pretty left-leaning district. But Phoenix proper is very left-leaning, and Mesa is very right-leaning. And so it's now back to sort of a even ground. And then if you look at the history of how things have gone, everybody is sort of naturally leaning conservative at this point, at least fiscally. So...
Is that what you get when you're out there walking the neighborhoods and stuff?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm absolutely seeing that too, by the way, because I monitor everything on the airwaves, and I'm seeing us trending back to where we needed to be, conservative principles with some. I mean, we just need conservative principles to reign.
Well, so before I talk about meet and greets, if I ran my businesses with the kind of debt that the federal government tries to run, not only would I not have any businesses, I would not be able to write 75 to 100 payroll checks every 2 weeks for people that work with me. It's unbelievable that we allow them to get away with this, but we do.
Can I ask
we
you
don't
a question?
hold them.
And you're
Yes,
right, because we're supposed to be the bosses.
Yeah.
Can I ask? It's a quick question. You go to Congress. The only people that seem to have a lower rating than the president is Congress.
Yep, absolutely.
Why do you think they're so dysfunctional and such low ratings with so much to do?
It's dysfunctional because people that we send there, we don't hold them to account. And what happens is that they become beholden to the money that's coming to them on the sides, and they don't make decisions or the best decisions for the people in their district, i.e. Nancy Pelosi is a prime example. I mean, how much money is she pulling in, and what is she doing with it? Where is it going? And then look at her district.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that tells you everything you need to know. So we need to get back to real principled people that are going to have the integrity. I told you, Marine. So that's sort of built into me. I grew up to a single mom moving around every 6 months until I graduated high school. And so...
Well, good for you for making it.
You had to learn how to work. You had to learn how to be responsible for the things that you wanted. So... for the meet and greets, I do one every single week, all the way up from now until Election Day. It will be every Wednesday from 5 to 7 at a different bar or restaurant around the district, because that's sort of my homeland.
Well, that's smart, yeah.
I'm building a coalition of 250 in-district LLCs, so bars, restaurants, small businesses, small business owners, of people that want to support this campaign, somebody that's going to go and fight for small business. And so this Wednesday... we're doing it at my bar, 5 to 7, BKD's Backyard Joint. And then next Wednesday is at Hobnob in Ahwatukee on Chandler. Like Chandler and I think 40th, somewhere around that neighborhood. The next Wednesday after that, I think we're looking at a space in Tempe. We haven't finalized. I like to be about 2 weeks out so they have a chance to invite some of their people. But
so if somebody's out there watching and they're like, oh, wow, I'd like him to come and do one here, just contact your campaign?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you remind us again what that is? Your website? And
so the website is kellycooperarizona.com, and then my email is kelly@kellycooperarizona.com. And I'll forward it to the appropriate people from there. So nice. It's an important piece of being political, is being part of the community and recognizing people, having the opportunity for people to come in and talk to you, and that's really what I want to be able to do. Every Wednesday I want people to be able to come in and poke at me, ask those hard questions. What do you really believe? Is that really what you're all about? Do you really believe that energy independence is going to help unwind some of this stuff? Do you really believe that your inflation is through the roof and the leading indicator at the wholesale market was 9.7%? And can you talk about that? Yeah. There's nothing that I buy in any of my restaurants that's not up by an average of 40% over last year. 40%. Wow. We haven't seen inflation yet, and we need to start unwinding this. But when you talk about the international affairs, what we did in Afghanistan or what Joe Biden did in Afghanistan. And I won't get to the military side because I'll cry on air. We don't want to do that. But
yeah, I have to join you too because I followed Afghanistan very, very, very closely, but for very, very many reasons. And when I heard about poppy fields and everything else, and actually talked to a guy like yourself who had been in South America, and they burned down a drug dealer's property in order that the other drug dealer could be more successful. And this guy was so broken and heartbroken. So yeah, we could cry together.
Yeah.
I hear you, brother.
No crying.
So that weakness showed that between that weakness and the loss of our energy independence is what Russia is using to leverage over Europe to get them to the point that they're at. When they get that next step, how much higher is our oil prices going to go per barrel? And how much more are we going to be paying for gas in another week or two?
It's so dismal. We're down to our last
$6 a gallon in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That's out of control.
Wouldn't go to San Francisco anyway, but still.
Well, we never have enough time to get to everything, so we
Sure, of
invite
course.
you to come back another time. You know, we're going to keep talking to candidates. Kelly Cooper, Congressional District Number 4. Please go ahead and give out your information again.
Sure, yeah. It's kellycooperarizona.com. You can email me at kelly@kellycooperarizona.com, or you can check out any of our social. We're across pretty much the entire spectrum, and we'll be posting all of that stuff up. So when our meet and greets are, this coming Saturday, we have a volunteer expo at the bar again. I believe we're starting at 5, so anybody that wants to come in and volunteer with the campaign. And if you don't want to put that much work in, go online, kellycooperarizona.com, hit that contribute button at the top there, and put in $10.
Excellent.
$10 at a time gets me there.
And I only have like 10 seconds, but
Sure.
the border.
Oh
That's
my
terrible,
God.
huh?
And it's not about the people coming across. It's literally about overwhelming the security to allow for people from foreign countries to come with bad intentions, drugs, trafficking, child trafficking. It's out of control, and all we really have to do is stop it. Tell people to stop coming. Reinstitute the Stay in Mexico policy. Put back up the wall. Today I read that they're sending our steel from our wall to Texas.
To
For what?
Grata.
For the wall?
Grata. Yeah. The federal government is
finish
taking
the wall there.
The federal government is taking the steel from Arizona's wall and sending it to Texas.
Oh, I see what you're
so they can build theirs. For free.
Okay, no crying, so we're going to have to end this segment. No crying. Thank you, Kelly Cooper, for
Yes,
coming.
ma'am.
Good
Thank
luck
you.
on your campaign, Congressional District Number 4 in Arizona. I'm Alice Latta with...
Well, Reverend Clyde Bowen, thank you so much, Kelly, for all you're doing, and thank you for all you're going to do.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, and we'll be right back with our last segment, so don't go away. We've still got more to walk on about and talk about Black History Month, okay?
Yay.
Here on the Gypsy Salsa Show, Central City Radio, Talk Central Phoenix.
Amen.
This is the Valley's News Talk and Podcasts. Talk Central Phoenix, a Central City radio station. The Valley's home for podcasts. Talk